Johnny Dollar.
This is Frederick Keeley at Masters Insurance and Trust Company.
How are you, Mr. Keeley?
Why, fine, thank you, but that's rather beside the point. I have a bit of a problem, Mr. Dollar.
Haven't we all?
Huh? Beg your pardon?
Nothing, sir. Just go on, please.
Well, Mr. Dollar, one of our claimants, that is to say the beneficiary of a small insurance policy, apparently never received the check for $3,000 we sent him.
I'm afraid I don't get it, Mr. Keeley. Why call on me?
What do you mean, sir?
Well, all you have to do is call the bank, stop payment on that check, and issue another.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Why not?
I said apparently never received it. I use that word advisedly.
Well?
Because it so happens the check we sent him has been cashed.
Oh.
Yes, properly endorsed and apparently cashed by the claimant, the beneficiary himself.
Apparently again.
Yes, and again, I use the word advisedly.
Well, then it kind of means one of two things. Either this beneficiary is trying to collect the money twice,
yes,
or somebody else got to that check first. In which case, we have a little matter of forgery on our hands.
Which, of course, should exact the fullest possible penalty of the law. Will you look into it for us?
Sure, Mr. Keeley, why not?
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Masters Insurance and Trust Company, Home Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the double exposure matter. Expense account item 1, $1.20 for a cab to Keeley's office on the 10th floor of the Star Record Building. He's a man of about 60, I'd say, short, stout, and rather pompous in his manner. Or maybe self-important is more like it.
No, I'm sure you realize as well as I do that a $3,000 claim is relatively small, relatively unimportant. I use that word advisedly.
Well, that means I can't expect much of a commission.
What's that?
Nothing, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yes. The fact remains that if the claimant, the beneficiary, thinks he can get away with collecting twice on the policy...
Seems to me he'd have to be pretty stupid to try a thing like that.
Oh, you're right. You're entirely right, sir. Exactly the way I feel about it. And Peter Upman is not a stupid man, so far as I have been able to determine.
Upman?
The beneficiary. In other words, it becomes evident, and I use that word advisedly, that someone else got hold of that check, endorsed it with Peter Upman's name, signed the receipt, of course, and, shall we say, left for parts unknown. In other words, we are faced with a case of forgery.
Yeah, I think I suggested something of that sort.
Why, yes, of course you did. And forgery is a serious matter, sir.
I'll go along with you on that.
Not only in this particular instance, because of the relatively small amount involved, and I use that term advisedly.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
But because it could lead to other attempts where perhaps much larger amounts could be involved.
So you want me to see if I can run down this forger for you?
No.
No? Why do you say that?
If we are to believe the People's National Bank over in Milford.
Milford, Connecticut?
That's right. If we are to believe them, the personnel concerned, their actual photographic record of the transaction, there was no forgery.
But I thought you just finished saying... What's that?
Mr. Dollar, according to them, and I have no reason to doubt them in the least, Peter Upman himself appeared, endorsed that check, cashed it, and left with the money. However...
Yeah?
I have here a properly signed deposition to the effect that Upman not only never cashed that check, but that he never saw it.
Oh, no, this doesn't make sense.
We have no reason whatsoever to question the validity of this deposition.
You're sure of that?
I am certain of it.
But you can't be.
That is why I have called upon you. Somehow, Mr. Dollar, you must bring the criminal, whoever he is, to justice. Will you do it, sir? Well...
Yeah, sure. Why not? And I use that term advisedly. Naturally, my first move was to drive on down to Milford. On the expense account, that rings up item 2, $5.25 for a tank full of gas for my own car. The People's National Bank was closed for the day, so I registered at the Milford Arms, ate some dinner, that's item 3, another $5.25. That is, including a couple of drinks beforehand. Then I drove over to the address of Mr. Peter Upman. Pete, living alone in a small apartment on East Willow Drive, turned out to be about 33. He was tall, husky, good-looking. The football type with a big shock of red hair. Very nervous, though. The kind who doesn't stay put anywhere for very long.
Yeah, sure. Come in, darling. Sit down.
Okay.
How about if I pour us a drink or something? How about it?
No thanks, Upman.
Upman? Sure you don't mean Mr. Upman? Now, don't be so formal. Just call me Pete. Sure you couldn't do with a little drink just to sort of celebrate. How about it, huh?
Celebrate what?
Celebrate what? You said the insurance company, didn't you?
That's right.
Then produce, man, produce. Just don't keep me hanging here. Only I'll sit down, too. Come on, man. Come on, let's have it, huh?
What are you talking about?
The check, what else? Old Aunt Lizzie's insurance. Don't tell me you came all the way down here from Hartford without bringing me another check for all that lovely money, that $3,000. Now, don't tell me that.
Oh, another check, huh?
Why, sure, what else? Hey, now, look, what I mean is...
Yeah, what do you mean, Pete?
I mean another one to take the place of the one the company was supposed to send me, but I never got it. That's what I mean. They said they sent it to me, but, man, I never saw it.
Oh, they sent it all right, and they got a receipt for it.
That's what they say, man. That's what they've been saying to me ever since I put in that claim for it. Oh, look. Maybe the Upmans are kind of funny about some things, but they aren't liars, see? And I'm telling you, I never got that check.
Pete, that check...
You don't believe me? You asked that lawyer, that Alfred R. Price. He took my statement and made me swear to it. And I don't swear to something unless it's true, see?
That's all very well,
Swear to something isn't true is a one-way trip to the jailhouse. And, man, that's not for me.
I'm beginning to wonder...
Sure, that's the fastest way to get yourself into trouble, but... Look, Dollar. You be careful what you say.
Yeah?
I'm a nervous man, darling. Sometimes I got a pretty quick temper, and if somebody's trying to pull a fast one on me, well, don't try it. I don't care who you are, just don't try it, Dollar. Maybe it wouldn't be very healthy for you. See what I mean?
Is that supposed to be a warning, Pete?
Warning? No. No, man, I don't fool around. That's a threat.
Pepsi-Cola refreshes without filling. Why? Because it's truly light.
Charlie, you're forgetting something.
Wait, Kay, there's more. Yes, ice-cold Pepsi is the delicious refreshment that goes great at a picnic or a party.
But, Charlie...
And Pepsi goes fast. People like it, so keep plenty handy. There.
Oh, you did fine, except for one thing.
Well, I mentioned lightness and how Pepsi refreshes and how fast it goes.
You left out Pepsi sociability. You know the Be Sociable song.
But, Kay, I can't sing.
I can. Listen. Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi. Drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable, have a Pepsi.
Well, at least I can say this. Pick up an extra carton of Pepsi today.
Please do.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Trying to reason with Peter Upman didn't work. He was much too anxious to use his fists. And from the looks of him, he might have done very well with them. He maintained he'd never received the insurance check, that he wanted the money, wanted it fast, and that's all there was to it. That I had my choice of getting it for him or else. He made it plain that if I didn't like his attitude, he'd be perfectly willing to pound some sense into my head. So why stick my neck out? When I figured I could get all the information I needed from the lawyer, Mr. Alfred R. Price. And Price, living in a lonely home on the north side of town, was somewhat different from his hot-tempered young client.
I'm afraid you'll just have to forgive Peter his somewhat belligerent attitude. He comes from a very wealthy family over in New Haven. I was their attorney for many years. They tried to spoil him, make him the same lazy, indolent sort that his sister and his two brothers are.
One of those things, huh?
But Peter would have none of it. He was determined to make something of himself entirely on his own.
I see.
As a result of his stubbornness, his defiance, and his father's unreasonable attitude, well, his father blandly told him he was cutting him off without a penny.
Well, how do the other kids feel about him?
Well, there's no love for him, believe me.
But how's he made out?
Very well, Mr. Dollar. He owns a little electronic shop. More important, he's the only member of the family who has any real knowledge of the value of money, simply because he's the only one who's gone to work for it.
Which explains, I suppose, why he's so anxious to get his hands on the $3,000 insurance that his aunt left.
Oh, he can use it, too.
That is, if he hasn't already got it and is simply trying to bluff his way into another $3,000.
No, don't you believe it, Mr. Dollar. Peter would no more could no more think of such a thing.
Well, you seem pretty sure of that.
Well, I've known him since the day he was born, and have liked him in spite of his hot temper. And I'm absolutely certain he would never attempt anything out of line.
Well, you're pretty convincing, Mr. Price.
Well, after all, I'm a lawyer, Mr. Dollar.
But the fact remains the company sent him a check. It was properly endorsed. The money was paid out.
But not to him.
Well, how can you be sure?
Because he says it wasn't. And that's good enough for me.
But in that case...
Have you talked to the people at the bank, to the teller who made the payment?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen the photograph of the actual transaction as it took place?
See, you're the second one to mention such a photograph.
Very ingenious device there at that bank. I suggest the first thing in the morning you go down there, see it, talk with the president, Mr. Oliver, and then see what you think.
So first thing in the morning, I was at the bank talking with Mr. Barton Winfield Oliver, the president.
Yes, a very ingenious device, Mr. Dollar, when it works properly.
Oh, what do you mean by that, Mr. Oliver?
It's called a photo register, one of the very first models to be installed in a place of business. Actually, it was an experimental
Well,
model.
just what is it? What does it do?
Comparable devices, much improved, of course, are in use throughout the whole country now.
What does it do, sir?
It automatically takes a picture of everyone who steps up in front of the teller's cage.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of such things.
Of course.
Yeah, aren't they used in a lot of supermarkets, places like that, to make a photographic record of people who cash checks in them?
Yes. And as a result, the incidence of bad checks in those places, why, they're almost a thing of the past.
All this means that you have a picture of the man who cashed that insurance check.
Yes, I have.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
Because if it is a picture of young Peter Upman, I don't care what his lawyer says.
Here you are, Dollar.
This is photographic proof it was he who... Huh?
Yes.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Well, that was an
you
early...
mean to say this is the best that fancy machine of yours can do?
It was an experimental model.
Why, this could look like almost anybody.
In the beginning, it was very good. Made very clear pictures.
Well, it certainly doesn't anymore.
But only the head cashier and I know that.
Huh?
The general public don't. They think it operates as well as ever. So it serves its purpose.
Yeah, how?
Because anyone thinking of trying anything is scared by it.
Oh, great. Then this photo doesn't really mean a thing. Oh, sure, in a way it does look somewhat like Peter Upman. Same build, same general sort of face, even the same shock of hair. But it's so blurred, so indistinct, like a double exposure.
Yes, I know. But when Mrs. Eberhardt says that it was Peter...
Who's Mrs. Eberhardt?
She's one of our oldest, most trusted employees. The teller who waited on him.
Oh, let me talk to her, please.
Certainly. Mrs. Eberhardt, will you close your cage for a moment and come here, please?
Certainly, Mr. Oliver.
That's the one?
It is. She's been with the bank much longer than even I have. Almost from the beginning. She knows more about the people here in... Mr. Dollar, what does this mean?
I casually pulled my gun out of its holster, and I held it casually in front of my chest, waiting for Mrs. Eberhardt to come over. Because I'd had a real good look at her when she turned to answer Mr. Oliver. And suddenly I began to see things a lot more clearly.
Talk about best-selling records. Here's a familiar tune about America's best-selling filter cigarette, Winston. Winston gives you real flavor, full, rich tobacco flavor. And you know, that's because only Winston has filter blend up front. Choice, flavorful tobaccos, specially selected and specially processed for filter smoking. No wonder Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should. Smoke Winston.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the double exposure matter.
Just take it easy, Mr. Oliver, and don't mention it to her when she comes over here.
But good heavens, man.
Wait now. Here she comes.
Yes, Mr. Oliver, you wished... Oh, I'm so sorry, Walter.
Okay, Abby. Only I'm not Walter, I'm Jim.
Oh, yes, of course, Jimmy.
Right over here, Mrs. Everhart.
Oh, I know, Mr. Oliver. I can... Oh, dear, these chairs are all over the place.
Abby, I want you to meet my friend, Mr. Johnny Dollar.
Oh, Mr. Johnny... Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you, Mr.
That's all right, that's all right.
But how do you do? Oh, and I see you smoke a pipe, too, just like Mr. Oliver does.
Yeah, you'd better take a real close look at this, Mrs. Everhart.
What?
The way you look real close at all the money you handle there at the counter, at the deposit slips and so forth. A real close look, huh?
What? Oh, why, it's a pistol.
Yeah.
But good heavens.
How long since you've had a new prescription for those glasses of yours?
Now, look here, young man, if this is a hold-up...
How long?
Shall I cry for help, Mr. Oliver?
No, Abby.
Better answer my question.
Young man, I don't see that it's any of your business.
I thought so.
And if you're here in the bank for any nefarious...
And this is the person who identified Peter Upman for you.
Now, look here, Dollar.
Yes, you look here, young man.
Look, huh?
That's right.
Mr. Oliver, hasn't this bank of yours got a nice, generous pension plan for an old and faithful employee who's blind as a bat?
I
Item 4, 10 cents for a telephone call to the lawyer, Mr. Price. Item 5, $1.50 for a leisurely lunch at the hotel, after which I wandered around the town a bit, then drove on over to the lawyer's office.
I tried to call you at the hotel, Mr. Dollar, but they told me you'd left.
Yeah, no, I was out taking a little walk.
Look here. Do you think these will be of any help to you?
Who knows, but I certainly hope so.
Now, this is Janet Upman. I believe she's about 31 now.
Well, quite a dish.
Yes, she's quite a dish.
I bet that mink set her back a lot of money.
Now, this is Edward, Peter's older brother. Not very bright.
Kind of bald, isn't he? But there is a family resemblance. And this is Peter.
Oh, no, that's Paul. A couple of years younger than Peter.
They dislike Peter, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Because he had the guts to go out on his own, huh?
Partially, perhaps.
Because he didn't take a hunk of the family fortune? Well, that wouldn't make sense.
Now, wait. You mean didn't I tell you of the hidden bequest?
The what?
Peter never knew about it, but the others always have.
Known about what?
Well, because of the way Peter had renounced his family, his father wanted to punish him.
By cutting him off without a cent.
So he said. But in a late codicil to his will...
Oh, Peter will get some money, huh?
Over $1 million, Mr. Dollar, in a few months, when he's 35.
I see.
Provided he keeps out of any serious trouble.
The money the others were left.
Millions, Mr. Dollar.
I'll bet they've been going through it like a tornado.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
All right, then, Mr. Price, if I can bluff my way with this picture from the bank, and if you're any kind of an actor, well, let's get busy. I telephoned to Peter, told him to come over. Mr. Price called the others. They didn't care particularly about seeing Pete again, but Price told them some of the as-yet undistributed money was at stake, and they quickly changed their mind. So, about an hour and a half later, there was a gathering of the Upman clan there at the office of the old attorney.
Look, Dollar, Mr. Price says you're okay and all that, but I still don't like your company's stall on the insurance payment.
Just keep your shirt on, huh, Pete?
And another thing, I didn't like your attitude when you came to see me.
Now, look, you may be a little bigger than I am, but I've decided you'd be very foolish if you tried to take me on.
Oh, yeah?
It might even cost you $1 million.
Well, all I care about is Aunt Lizzie's $3,000.
Okay, just take it easy, huh?
Take it easy. You say that to a
Oh,
redhead?
then shut up. Okay, now, all of you, listen to me.
Yes, Johnny?
I'm sure you all know that Pete here inherited a few $1,000s from his Aunt Elizabeth, I guess it is.
Yes, and we've heard about how he's tried to collect it twice over. Well, if you ask me, Johnny...
Thank you, Janet, but I am not asking you.
Well, if you ask me, Pete ought to be locked up for trying such a silly, childish thing.
Yeah? Paul, with all the time in the world on your hands, it was real easy for you to pick up that insurance check over where Pete lives while he was at work, wasn't it?
What's that?
What?
And forging a signature, well, after all, you're his own brother.
Just a minute,
And
please.
there at the bank, why, dear old half-blind Mrs. Everhart couldn't tell which was which.
Now, look here, Dollar.
But A little machine put the finger on you, Paul.
Absurd.
Yeah, a little device at the bank that photographs everybody who goes up to a teller's cage.
Dolly, you mean that...
Oh, now, Johnny, you've been taken in.
Have I?
That whole thing is just a bluff. It hasn't worked right in years.
Oh, what makes you think that?
I know. Because the cashier is a boyfriend of mine.
Oh, that bank had better check its books.
What?
He didn't tell you it's been fixed recently? Fixed?
No, he didn't. I mean, Paul.
Now, wait a minute.
Like to see the picture it took of you, Paul, collecting that money? Here, Mr. Price. See what you think.
Why, yes, Mr. Dollar. It's about as clear as it can possibly...
Okay, Paul, you dirty... No, stop him. Somebody stop me. And not you, Paul, or anybody else.
Good heavens, Mr. Dollar. Peter will kill him.
Oh, I doubt it, Mr. Price. Can you think of a better way for justice to be done? Yeah, Peter paid Paul on this one. But I mean, royally. And I must confess it did my heart good to watch him. And Pete, bless his fighting Irish heart. Yep, he'll be a millionaire one of these days. He's earned it. Expense account total, including hotel and food, $17.20. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
Constipation is something people don't talk about much, but it can be a problem for anyone, even doctors. And when constipation occurs, it's interesting to see just what doctors consider important about a laxative they might use or recommend. Well, a majority of the doctors we heard from had this to say.
A laxative should be effective, gentle, close to natural acting. A medicine that can be used with complete confidence.
Now, X-Lax has been popular with many doctors and millions of people over the years because pleasant-tasting chocolated X-Lax is effective. Overnight, it helps you toward your normal regularity. X-Lax is so gentle, so close to natural acting, there's no upset. That's why many doctors and millions of people use X-Lax with complete confidence. X-Lax, the laxative that helps you toward your normal regularity gently, overnight.
Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a story of a deadly swamp and 4 dedicated killers. Their intended victim? Well, join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Marvin Miller, Peter Leeds, Jack Moyles, Ralph Moody, Bartlett Robinson, Eleanor Audley, and Sandra Gould. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wall speaking.
Silent death stalks a ship's corridor as suspense follows on the CBS Radio Network.
One more pitch may do it. Judy Wood has been pitching a great game all afternoon. She's just about the best softball pitcher in the Women's League. Okay, she's ready. Strike 3! Man, oh man, what a pitch! Man, oh Manischewitz, what a wine! At the ballpark, not everybody gets the big cheers. But at home, everybody's wine is always cheered. It's Manischewitz. Man, oh man.
Man, oh Manischewitz, everybody's wine because it tastes so good.
Have you tried new Manischewitz fruit wines? It's just like drinking fruit itself. Serve them anytime. Manischewitz fruit wines. 100% pure, specially sweetened.
Blackberry wine. Cherry wine. Loganberry wine.
Man, oh Manischewitz, everybody's wine because it tastes so good.
Manischewitz Wine Company, New York.
Radio 59, WROW, Albany, New York. From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Bert Major, Masters Insurance and Trust.
Oh, hi, Bert. What's up?
Poor little rich girl in California wants to take out a $200,000 straight life policy on her husband, with herself as beneficiary.
A lot of dough, but not too unusual, if you can afford it.
Effective in 2 weeks, and hush, hush, a surprise.
But who'd want to... Why?
Exactly. Nice piece of change for the company in commissions, or for her in payoff, if she's playing that kind of a game.
You talk like you don't know her.
Name only. Deal was arranged pending through her lawyer in Los Angeles.
You
could be out there in the morning, Johnny.
All right, Bert. Who gives me the fill-in?
Our agent out there, Roger Hackey. He'll meet you at International Airport.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Home Office, Masters Insurance and Trust Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the poor little rich girl matter. Expense account item 1, $280 round-trip plane ticket and incidentals, including sunglasses, Hartford to Los Angeles. I arrived, rested, ready, and right on schedule. Also on schedule was Roger Hackey, Masters Los Angeles agent, who turned out to be a repressed comedian become insurance salesman.
Yep, I said to myself, that's Johnny Dollar, I said. You are Johnny Dollar, aren't you?
In person. You Roger Hackey?
In person? You got the old feel, haven't you? Simpatico, we call it out here. Have a nice trip?
Yeah.
Good. Airplanes scare me. Don't like being up there in the wild blue yonder. Terra firma's my dish of tea. Slow but sure, they call me.
Yeah, well, look.
Now, if you'll just follow me, we'll jump in my jalopy, and I'll have you at the Beverly Hilton before you can say Happy Hooligan.
You said.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. Cloud of dust and all that.
The ride from the air terminal to the hotel was hot, silent on my part, and unproductive so far as the case was concerned. Roger Hackey kept up a running commentary on everything from bad actors to the Zodiac. It wasn't until I was settled in my room with drink in hand and shoeless feet propped up that I could get him to switch to the $200,000 surprise.
Her name is Cynthia Durbin. Now, how much do you know about her?
Nothing. Bert Major said you'd give me the background.
Now, she's a strange one. You know what a chameleon is?
Well, sure, a lizard that changes color, so what?
So, that's the kind of a gal Cynthia Durbin is. At least she is now.
You're losing me, Roger. Begin at the beginning.
Now, you're the doctor. As the Siamese twins said after the operation, what's missing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you meet Cynthia Durbin?
Well, she came into the office yesterday. No call, no appointment. There she was.
Oh, what's she like?
Trim. Real trim. And expensive.
Just casually announced she wanted to buy $200,000 worth of insurance, huh?
Well, not exactly. She started asking about various policies, endowment, straight life, etc., and how and when they paid off. And she kept giving me the big eye and cross-leg routine.
She tell you anything about herself?
Oh, didn't have to. I already knew. She's practically a fixture in the society section of the Sunday papers. Garden parties, opening nights, and all that. Yeah, but only lately.
Her husband?
Peter Durbin. He's been a public figure ever since they got married about 3 years ago.
But she hasn't.
No, just the last couple of months or so.
How old is she?
Oh, around 25. Blonde, blooming, and gorgeous, figuratively speaking.
I take it she has the money, huh?
Yeah, right. He was a well-torsoed movie bit player with a champagne appetite.
I see. Now, what about this surprise angle?
Well, she came right to the point. Said her husband had just had a complete physical. Asked if his doctor's report would be acceptable. If so, okay.
But you didn't sign her up. Why?
She didn't give me the chance.
What do you mean?
All of a sudden, she reached in her purse and pulled out a piece of paper with a name and address on it, announced this was her attorney. See him, she said, smiled big, and walked out.
Did you go and see the attorney?
Right away. A guy by the name of Crane Collins. Has big plush offices downtown, old senior partner type.
What did he have to say?
Oh, nothing except routine questions about filling out the forms, expediting the procedure, importance of secrecy for the surprise.
Well, why didn't you ask a few questions?
Couldn't.
What do you mean, couldn't?
She was there.
Doing what?
Sitting back in a corner, all huddled up like a mouse waiting to be pounced on. Didn't say a word, while Collins and I filled out the papers. Yeah, she signed them as if they were a death warrant. Went back to the corner and stared at the wall.
Now I see what you meant by that chameleon remark.
Yeah, she's too much for me.
Yeah. A leopard can change its spots, too. Expense account item 2, $3.25 taxi fare to the offices of Crane Collins. So far, all I knew was that the wealthy young woman wanted a pot full of insurance on her husband. If it hadn't been for the surprise request, it would have been routine. Now it wasn't. And the people involved, one of them at least, were not routine. I was ushered into an oak panel office high above the streets of Los Angeles.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dollar.
Mr. Collins?
Your card identifies you as an insurance investigator, Mr. Dollar. I don't believe I understand.
Cynthia Durbin is your client?
Why, yes.
You represented this client yesterday in the signing of an application for a $200,000 straight life insurance policy on her husband.
Yes?
I represent the company.
Everything is in order, is it not?
Insurance is a lot of things, Mr. Collins. A surprise to the insured is one of the things it isn't.
My client is adamant in this respect. Call it a quirk, if you will.
You expect the company to issue a $200,000 policy on a quirk?
Well,
how long have you known Mrs. Durbin?
Since she was born.
Then you know her father?
Knew him. I am his executor.
Uh-huh. Mother?
Also deceased. Both parents died when Cynthia was 17. I was her guardian and have been her legal advisor since she came of age.
Was she well provided for?
Very.
What kind of a man is her husband?
Young, about 30. Tall, good-looking.
No, Mr. Collins, not statistics. Your impressions.
He plays an excellent game of golf. Gets along well with people when he wants to.
But you don't like him, do you?
In this profession, Mr. Dollar, I neither like nor dislike people. I represent them, and that representation is based on fact.
Well, in my profession, we go by feel as well as fact. Well, tell me candidly, Mr. Collins, do you think there's anything strange about this request for insurance on her husband?
As I said, I deal in facts, not feelings. As a client, she sought professional assistance. Ergo, I supplied it.
Where do the Durbins live?
I'd rather not.
Now look, I can get it from any society editor in town.
My secretary will give you the information.
All right, thank you. By the way, don't tell Mrs. Durbin or anyone else that we've had this discussion. If you do, there will be no insurance issued. Interference with investigative procedure. Fact, Mr. Collins.
I understand.
Expense account item 3, $2.60, phone call. Then taxi to Roger Hackey's office. A neat one-story building in the Miracle Mile on Wilshire Boulevard. Purpose? To borrow Roger's company car. The Durbins lived in one of those colonial mansions out in Beverly Hills, surrounded by curving driveways, spacious lawns, swimming pool, and cabanas, all of it enclosed by thick, high walls and electronically controlled gates. The mention of insurance on the intercom got me in. Cynthia Durbin was everything Roger said she was. The first time he met her, that is.
Please excuse my appearance, Mr. Dollar. I've been swimming.
Oh, I don't mind at all, Mrs. Durbin.
Really, you shouldn't have come here to deliver the policy. What if my husband had been home?
No surprise.
No, that would have spoiled everything. Well, may I have it, please?
The paperwork has not been completed yet.
Then what are you doing here? What do you want? Get to the point.
Well, just a few questions, Mrs. Durbin. My colleague, Mr. Hackey, should have handled these details yesterday, but he was somewhat rushed.
Oh, then there's nothing wrong with... Would you care for a drink, Mr. Dollar?
Thanks.
The bar's out by the pool. Shall we?
She was wearing a bikini and high-heel beach sandals, and she led the way. I was hoping it was 2 miles to the pool instead of the 75 yards it turned out to be. I mixed the drinks, and we settled down in a couple of sun lounges.
Ah, those details, Mr. Dollar.
Just formalities, actually. You're to be the beneficiary?
Yes. That was discussed yesterday.
Oh, yes, so it was. What does your husband do, Mrs. Durbin?
He doesn't work, if that's what you mean. He doesn't have to. I have enough for both of us. Johnny.
Yeah?
Freshen my drink, will you, please?
Oh, sure. Say, tell me, did you ever contemplate divorce?
Divorce? Whatever makes you ask a question like that?
Well?
Of course not. We've had our differences, minor ones. What couple hasn't?
Yeah, I suppose you got a point there. Here you are.
Thank you. Johnny,
Why did you pick 2 weeks from today to be the effective date of the policy?
isn't that my business?
His birthday, Mrs. Durbin?
What?
Your husband, the surprise.
Well, yes, it is, but all these questions...
Plan to throw a big party for him?
Yes. No, I don't know. Johnny...
Your husband would be worth a lot more to you dead than alive, wouldn't he, Mrs. Durbin?
Hand me that robe, please.
Sure. There you are. But you haven't answered my question.
I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I have a headache. A terrible headache.
Something was definitely wrong here. A girl of her age should have flared at my questions. Should have snapped back at me instead of blindly running away. Yeah, something was wrong, all right. But I'd seen what I'd come to see. Both facets of Cynthia Durbin's personality. And was one of them actually thinking in terms of murder? My job, find out.
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
An interesting parallel hit me the other day. When a baby takes its first 3 steps, everybody is happy and gives a cheer for its progress. The same thing happens when a country takes important steps toward lasting world peace and freedom. That great American patriot, Benjamin Franklin, outlined 3 important steps in the drive toward a lasting world peace and freedom of mankind. The last and most important of these steps was, and is, to get the people of the world to talk to each other and to help each other. This is the essence of the people-to-people program that Americans have put into operation all over the world. It has been such a great success that it is beginning to work both ways. Not too long ago in Korea, Tom Lawrence, a yeoman in the United States Navy, lost his wallet on a street in Seoul. The wallet was found by a 15-year-old Korean boy who gave it to his father. The father promptly returned it to Lawrence with nothing missing. Tom Lawrence decided that this kind of honesty should pay off. He visited the 7 members of the Korean family and gave them 80 pounds of rice. He then promised to bring the family 50 pounds of rice each month he remained in Korea. The Korean father said, "I think this is much more than I deserve." Maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't. But who can put a price on better understanding among the peoples of the world? For through better understanding of each other comes an understanding of freedom, the right of all men, everywhere.
And now, Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the poor little rich girl matter.
I sat beside one of the plushest swimming pools in Beverly Hills, alone. I finished my drink slowly. Cynthia Durbin was a strange one, all right, but her actions seemed compulsory rather than natural. If she really was thinking about murder for $200,000 in one chunk, she was pretty crude about it. If she was trying to impress her husband for some unknown reason, she'd selected a mighty offbeat way to do it. If she was going off her rocker, well... The extension phone hung on a post beside the bar. I don't ordinarily listen in on other people's conversations, but this one...
Thing wrong, darling?
Eric? Oh, Eric, I've got to talk to you. Something has happened. I
No,
think
Cynthia, not on the phone. Meet me here in half an hour.
But, Eric...
Half an hour. Here. Goodbye, Cynthia.
Hello, Eric. As I strolled to my car, nobody asked me to come back again sometime. Not that I expected it. I parked a block down the street, adjusted the rearview mirror, and got comfortable. A cigarette later, she came zooming out in a CAD convertible and headed my way. I've tailed a few cars in my time, but this kid was either scared silly or she'd learned her evasive tactics from Bull Halsey. I lost her in the first 10 blocks. So I drove Roger Hackey's car back to his office and prepared for the horse laugh I had coming. It came.
She lost you, huh? Oh, that's a dandy, a real dandy.
Hey, tell me, do you always laugh when you're about to lose the commission on a $200,000 policy?
Yeah? Oh. Well, what are you going to do now, Johnny?
Who is Eric?
Well, he's not a brother, that's for sure. Oh. I don't know.
You know, for 2 cents, I'd turn in a negative report and go on back to Hartford.
Oh, wait now. You can't do that. This is a big deal.
For you. For me, it's a pain in the neck.
But you can't turn in a negative report just because she's got an extracurricular boyfriend. You don't even know who he is. And what about her husband?
Yeah, what about him?
Here. I got the dope right here. Today's paper, and it's a good picture of him. Read what it says.
Peter Durbin, one of Los Angeles' better amateur golfers, plays out of Silver Oak Country Club where the State Open is being held this week. He's expected to finish in the top. Roger, what time is it?
4:30.
Thanks.
Huh? Hey, where you going?
I'm going to try my hand at being a reporter.
What? What are you talking about?
Roger, I'm going to interview Mr. Peter Durbin for the Interstate Publicity Press Association.
Huh?
Expense account item 4, $2.40, cab fare to the Silver Oak Country Club, which nestled in a big ravine north of Sunset Boulevard, some 15 minutes from Roger's office. The last players were coming in for the afternoon round when I got there, and Peter Durbin was among them. I waited until after the radio and TV boys had got through, and then caught him in a corner of the locker room.
Yes? Who are you?
Johnny Dollar, Interstate Publicity Press. I'd like to ask you a few questions, please.
Well, I've already given my interviews.
Well, sure, I know, but this is feature stuff. Best part of the day. There's the gallery body or stuff like that.
Oh, all right, but make it quick.
Yes, sir. Is your wife here?
No, she never watches me play.
Oh? Where is she now?
Well, at home. Where else? But now, see here, don't you think...
You're playing a great game, Mr. Durbin. You figure you're going to win this tournament, huh?
Yes, I think so. McMahon has turned in a 69, of course, but I'm still 3 strokes up on him. I play a much steadier game than he does.
Oh, yeah, sure. This is your home club, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, mighty fine course. You must be pretty well heeled.
Well, That's none of your readers' concern.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say, you have a birthday coming up soon, haven't you?
How did you know?
Oh, well, you're a prominent personality, Mr. Durbin. We keep a file on this sort of thing, on important people like you.
Oh, I see. Oh, sure.
I suppose you're going to have a big affair.
No, as a matter of fact, the annual Western Road races fall on my birthday each year. As a reporter, you should recall that I won both last year and the year before.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Durbin, and good luck.
Well, is that all you want?
That's all I need to know. Thanks.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
No folklore could be all boastful and dynamic. Some of it is about the man at the bottom of the pile, like the one they tell of the traveler who just had to get across a river. He argued with the boatman, but that boatman wasn't about to move. Nope, not with the spring thaw making it a mighty ugly river. The traveler was insistent. Finally, the boatman agreed, but it was going to cost a whole quarter to get across.
But I ain't got but 15 cents. You gotta take me for that. Your regular fare's only 10 cents.
The boatman stood firm.
I ain't going, that's all. Anybody that ain't got but 15 cents, it just don't make no difference which side of the river he's on anyhow.
Folklore belongs to every nation's legendary past. And I guess we Americans have our share of some good ones. Like the one about... but we'll have to save that one for the next time we travel your way. See you then.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the poor little rich girl matter.
Expense account item 5, $6 even. Taxi fare to the office of Attorney Crane Collins, with whom I could now agree on one point. I didn't like Peter Durbin either. It was 6:15 after hours when I entered the office of Collins, Douglas, Walsh, Hanley, and James. The senior partner was still there. His door was slightly ajar, and I heard voices, which stopped abruptly when I entered.
Oh, Mr. Dollar. Rather late in the day, isn't it?
I don't keep office hours, Mr. Collins.
I'm very busy.
Then I'll wait.
Very well, as you wish.
I wished, so I waited. But not for long. Because about 3 minutes later, Collins came out, carefully closed the door of his office behind him, and strode easily toward me, oozing his most charming professional smile.
Now, Mr. Dollar, What can I do for you?
Why didn't you tell me the first time I was here that Peter Durbin, in addition to being a first-class golfer, was also a racing enthusiast?
Why, it just didn't occur to me.
Do you know any insurance company in the world that would issue a $200,000 policy on a man who risks his life in a racing car?
Then your company will not issue the policy?
What do you think? Now tell me something. Who is Eric?
Eric?
That's right. Well?
The name is not familiar to me.
Now look, Mr. Collins, I have a feeling that even you will admit that withholding information in connection with a possible murder is punishable by law. Fact.
I am fully aware of that, but I fail to see what that... What are you doing?
You didn't invite me into your office. I just wondered why is all.
Have you no ethics, man?
Cynthia Durbin was in there a few minutes ago, wasn't she?
Mr. Dollar.
Wasn't she?
If it is the intention of your company not to issue the insurance to my client, I will so inform her, and that will end the matter so far as you are concerned. Now, please be good enough to leave.
You really don't know or care what's going on, do you? You're so wrapped up in the letter of the law that preventing a possible murder doesn't even occur to you.
Another one of your feelings? Well, I don't have the remotest idea what you're talking about. Good night, Mr. Dollar.
Good night, Mr. Collins. Expense account item 6, $9.50, cocktails and dinner. I should have written my report negative and hightailed it back to Hartford. But when you see in your mind's eye the possibility of a racing car careening off the road at 125 miles an hour exactly 2 weeks from now, you don't just stick to business and call it quits. Eric, wherever he tended bar, was the key. But how to find him? I was on dessert in the evening paper, giving my subconscious mind a chance to work it out when all of a sudden I was looking at it on the society page. Expense account item 7, $19, including taxi fare to Los Angeles Police Headquarters, where I had a pleasant chat with the captain on duty. Then a tuxedo rental in the same taxi to the Statler Hotel. A special pass let me in as guest at a crowded and bejeweled society benefit. Enjoying the party, Mr. Collins?
Dollar, what are you doing here?
Enjoying the party, too. Have Mr. and Mrs. Durbin arrived?
You are the most annoyingly persistent individual I have ever...
Please, no compliments. See you later. After a few minutes, I spotted her, dressed to the teeth. She turned suddenly and saw me. I expected surprise, chagrin, fear, most anything but what I got.
Mr. Dollar, Johnny, I am glad to see you. I was such a bore this afternoon. Forgive me.
Well, your exit was rather sudden.
My headache's all gone. Isn't that wonderful?
Fine.
Will you dance with me?
Pleasure.
Dollar. That's such an exciting name.
Is your husband with you tonight?
No, poor dear. He's playing in a golf tournament and has to get his rest.
You came alone?
Yes. Don't you find it warm in here, all these people? Let's go out on the terrace,
Sure, why not? Once more I was following her, and it was just as interesting as the first time. But my mind and eyes were elsewhere. Somewhere in this crowd was the Eric I was looking for. He had to be. Then I spotted him, 35, big and broad, hawk-nosed, circling toward the terrace from the left. She threaded her way to a potted palm in a far corner of the terrace, turned and looked at me. Her eyes were feverishly bright in the moonlight. She was beautiful.
You're a very charming man, Johnny. I wish...
You wish what?
Do you find me interesting? You haven't answered my question.
Oh, I find you interesting, Cynthia. Who is Eric?
Eric?
The man you went to see this afternoon after you left me.
This afternoon?
You know who I'm talking about. Because you and Eric, I don't know how, were planning to kill your husband 2 weeks from now and collect $200,000 insurance. 2 weeks from now in the road race. Make it look like an accident, no doubt.
No, Eric! No!
I ducked and whirled around as a fist grazed past my ear and brought up one from the floor with all I had. Cynthia stood there a moment, then quietly folded up and lay on the floor in a heap, sobbing.
Oh, there you are, Dollar. What have you done to this poor girl? And that man?
Very simple, Collins. I've been combining feel and fact. The house dick and I got them out of there. Hawk-nosed to police headquarters, Cynthia to a hospital. Eric turned out to be a quack psychiatrist who preyed on unstable rich women and who was wanted in both New York and Florida. He had a perfect setup in Cynthia Durbin until he went for murder and the big money. Mrs. Durbin, well, the doctors tell me she ought to be normal mentally in a couple of years with proper psychiatric treatment. Expense account total, $317.75. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag, representing one of the 50 states. North Carolina's state flag bears the initial of her name on either side of a white star. Above, on a yellow scroll, is the date May 20th, 1775. Below, on a similar scroll, is the date April 12th, 1776. The 1775 date stands for an early Declaration of Independence, known as the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. April 12, 1776, was the date of the first Constitutional Convention held in Halifax. The Halifax Resolve was a document that placed the Old North State in the front rank, both in point of time and spirit, among those colonies which demanded unconditional freedom and absolute independence from any foreign power. North Carolina's state flag, the flag of the 12th state to enter the Union, was adopted on March 9, 1885.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a beautiful yacht, a beautiful, charming girl, and a man who wished he'd never heard of either of them. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood. Written by Alan Botzer, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Herb Ellis, Frank Nelson, Marvin Miller, and Peter Leeds. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Bud Sewell speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Will you accept a collect call, Mr. Dollar?
Huh?
It's from Lake Mojave Resort in Arizona.
Oh, say no more, operator. Just put him on.
Well, yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Hi, who is it this time? Buster Favor, Ham Pratt?
Johnny,
this is Red.
Yeah, well, how's the fishing? Time for me to make another trek westward and find out from... Huh? Red?
That's right, Johnny.
Red who?
Well, you know, the guide out here, Red Barrett.
The fishing guide?
Oh, yes, sir.
Who claims to know Lake Mojave like the back of his hand and every good spot there is in it?
And I do, Johnny. That's a fact.
Then I repeat my question. How's the fishing?
Just as fine as ever, if you know where the good holes are, that is.
And you do?
Yes, I do.
So you think it's high time I fly on out there and wet a line, is that it?
No, sir, that's not what I'm calling you about, Johnny.
Well, what is it?
I don't rightly think I ought to tell you over the phone, Johnny. But I think you better come here just about as quick as you can.
But unless I know why...
I'll tell you when you get here.
Well, look, I usually do my traveling on expense account for an insurance company.
And you can this time.
Huh? What company?
The one that insured him, the Greater Southwest Insurance.
Insured who, Red?
Johnny, I'll tell you all that when you get here.
Now look.
They tell me there's a plane leaves New York right at high noon.
Listen, Red.
That'll get you into Las Vegas about 9:45 tonight, okay?
Okay, listen.
Goodbye, Johnny.
Red! Crazy old coot. He thinks for 1 minute that I'm going to get on. And yet, on second thought...
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Greater Southwest Insurance and Liability Company, Kingman, Arizona office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Mojave Red matter. Expense account item 1420, phone call to the Kingman, Arizona office of Greater Southwest Insurance and Liability. On the theory it might be well to check with their agent, Jake Kessler, before going off half-cocked.
Hi, Johnny. Haven't seen or heard from you since 2 years ago when you came out here to investigate the murder at the old Midas Touch mine.
Yeah, I remember, Jake. Now listen.
Yeah?
Is everything going along okay these days?
What?
Well, I mean, no trouble with any of your clients, that sort of thing, huh?
Why, not a bit, Johnny. Why do you ask?
Just wondered.
Well, if I did have, you know who I'd call.
No problems at all, huh?
I told you, not a... Hey, just what do you got stuck in your craw, Johnny?
Nothing. I just...
Well?
Well, tell me this. Any of your clients, policyholders, have any kind of trouble, accidents, anything like that over at Lake Mojave Resort lately?
Ah, so that's what's eating you. Well, Johnny, that claim was legitimate. It's in the home office for settlement. The company will pay it, and that'll be that.
What claim?
So just you stop worrying about it and forget.
What claim, Jake?
No, sir, Johnny, there's not a single solitary thing for you to investigate out here. So just you forget it.
Hey, you know something, Jake? You've just convinced me there is something to investigate. So I'm grabbing the first plane I can.
Well, Johnny, I'd love to see you, but I swear...
What's more, I'm charging my expense account to your company.
Oh? And, if you find out that I'm right and you're wrong...
Okay, Jake. Then you can shoot the crow and I'll eat it. Expense account item 2, $153 plane fare, Hartford to New York and New York to Las Vegas, Nevada. It was 9:45 on the dot as the big mainliner slowly circled down out of the clear starlit sky. Unless you've seen the millions of stars that twinkle brightly through the clean, dry air over the Mojave Desert, you've really missed something. And as we glided down toward the landing strip on the south edge of Las Vegas, the multicolored lights of the fabulous resort town made it sparkle like a vast field of jewels. Beautiful. Yeah, and expensive. That is, if you insist on trying your hand at the gaming tables and the casinos that line the main drag. Believe me, brother, I know. But that's neither here nor there. As I grabbed my luggage and started for the car rental office, a tall, angular man, well-tanned and dressed in blue jeans, high-heeled boots, and 10-gallon hat sauntered over to me.
Yeah, so you wouldn't take my word for it.
Oh, Jake.
That's right, Jake Kessler in person. And, Johnny, if you're here to investigate the claim on the Hobbs policy, well, there just isn't
Hobbs,
anything...
huh? Well, now I know that much. And suppose you tell me who Hobbs is, or was.
I'll tell you all about it, and when I have, you can hop on another plane and go right on back to Hartford. And all at your own expense. I still don't see whatever made you come out here, Johnny.
Apparently the Hobbs matter, so start telling me. Well, come on, Jake, come on.
All right, Johnny. All right, Elmer P. Hobbs, real estate in Los Angeles. Came over to the Lake Mojave Resort about 2 weeks ago, spent a few days fishing with his old pal, the guide they have there.
You mean Red Barrett?
Yeah.
Well, okay, go on.
And on Tuesday, a week ago, he rented one of the boats and went out by himself. Apparently, he went up to a place called the Big Basin.
Yeah, I know it well. The lake's 3 or 4 miles wide up there.
Yeah, well, that afternoon, a big wind came up, regular screamer. All the other boats came back to the landing, and all but Mr. Hobbs.
Oh?
The next morning, when the wind died down, they found his body washed up on the shore on the Nevada side.
That's all?
That's all.
You say a claim has been filed?
That's right, by one of his 2 beneficiaries.
Who?
His business partner back in L.A., Mr. Stuart Manley. I've passed the claim, and the company will pay it.
No investigation of any kind?
Oh, of course there was, Johnny. The Kingman Police, the Sheriff's Office, and the County Coroner. Accidental death due to drowning. So that's it, Johnny. Now you just make your reservation back to Hartford at that window right over there, and you are paying the freight.
Oh, not so fast, Jake. I'm sticking
Well,
around.
now you can see for yourself there's no reason for you to be here, much less at company expense.
Well, after all, now that I am here, it'd be kind of silly not to run down to the lake.
Well, you mean just to do some fishing on your own time.
You want to drive me down there?
Johnny.
Yeah?
Johnny, do you know something about the Hobbs case that I don't? And the police and the sheriff.
Jake, I don't know a thing about it.
Okay, Johnny. How do you want me to fix that crow you're going to eat?
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Vermont's state flag, in its early form, imitated our national flag, uniquely bearing 17 stripes and 17 stars, with only the inscribed word Vermont to distinguish it. The good people of Vermont assumed, as did our national government, that stripes as well as stars would be added as each new state entered the Union. Vermont entered the Union after Tennessee and Ohio, and with Kentucky to join shortly, the Vermonters naturally put 17 stripes on their flag. In 1818, the United States Congress put a stop to this, and since then the stripes have always been at 13, and only stars are added for each new state. Vermont's present flag captures the famous beauty of the Green Mountain State in its coat of arms, and inscribed is the phrase, Vermont, freedom and unity. Vermont's state flag, the flag of the 14th state to enter the Union, was adopted on April 26, 1923.
And now, Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Mojave Red Matter.
Elmer P. Hobbs of Los Angeles had died of drowning when his small boat capsized in a high wind on Lake Mojave. At least that's what Jake Kessler, his insurance agent, told me. Accident pure and simple, he said, and I could hie myself back to Hartford and forget about it. But I didn't. Simply because of the phone call I'd received from old Red Barrett, fishing guide at Lake Mojave Resort. I persuaded Jake to drive me over there on the excuse that as long as I was nearby, I might as well do some fishing. So he dropped me off, and since it was after midnight, went on back to Kingman. I wandered on down to the dock and boathouse.
Hello? Who's that?
Ham?
Huh? Johnny? Johnny Dollar?
Yeah.
Johnny Dollar?
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Hiya, Ham.
Hey. You know darn well what he's doing here, Ham. The fishing has never been better. Only how'd you get the word? And how are you, Johnny?
Oh, just great, Buster.
Did you stop by the office, let Marilyn fix you up with a room?
No, because as I recall, old Red usually sleeps here on the dock.
Oh, Red.
Well, why do you say it that way, Buster?
Because Ham and I are wasting good sleeping time down here wondering why he hasn't come in yet.
You mean he's still out on the lake?
Yes, the crazy
But it's as black as the ace of spades out there.
And no moon tonight.
Buster and I were about to take off and go out to look for him.
He pulled this very same stunt night before last. We finally found him drifting around about 9 miles up.
He said he'd run out of gas. Showed his empty tank to prove it.
Yeah, but we knew better.
What do you mean, Buster?
I mean, when he saw us coming after him, he dumped out what gas he had. Oil slick all over the lake. If somebody'd struck a match, why?
You know, Red's been doing a lot of crazy things this past week or so. Ever since his old friend, Mr. Hobbs, died, they were pretty close.
And that is why he phoned me.
Red phoned you?
Yeah, early this morning. And if you ask me, it's because he doesn't believe Mr. Hobbs' death was accidental.
Johnny?
You know something? I didn't quite believe it myself. Well, sure, we have some pretty big winds on the lake now and then, and it was a big one that day. Yeah, and then when the coroner and the other authorities, well, who's to argue with them?
Do you know if Red has found out anything? Anything at all?
All we know is he's given up taking out fishing parties and spends all his time prowling around the lake every day.
And night. Says if he can find the boat Mr. Hobbs used...
What kind of a boat was it?
One of our regular rentals, an aluminum Arkansas Traveler.
Yeah, with a 10-horse Johnson on it.
Well, listen. Those boats have flotation tanks.
Why, yeah.
So even if it did capsize, it wouldn't sink.
You're right, Johnny.
And there's been no sign of it?
None at all.
Then let's go up to the lake and find Red. Except for the stars far overhead, the night was black as ink. And the 50-horse outboard skimmed us along at better than 30 miles an hour. Believe me, it was a strange feeling, almost like flying through space. How Buster found his way around the islands, rocky points, and reefs, I'll never know, but he did.
Throw your flashlight over to the left, Ham. You ought to be about even with Sculpture Rock.
Yep, there it is.
And we're coming into the big basin.
Would you please tell me how you ever expect to find Red in all this darkness?
Oh, don't worry about him. He hears us coming. He'll signal by striking a match or something.
Sure, Johnny, no matter how crazy you are, you never let somebody wander around in the dark looking for you out here.
Red knows that because he's had to come out and hunt for too many people at night himself.
Ham, look.
Yeah?
On the east shore. I'm swinging over there.
Hey, you're right. There's a fire on the beach.
Yeah, it must be Red.
What's he doing out here?
We'll soon find out. Hang on.
Well, all I have to say is you took long enough to bring Johnny up here.
Red, you old reprobate, what under the sun are you up to this time?
I just told you. I've been waiting for you to bring Johnny. Now you can leave us and go on back to the dock. And I thank you very much.
Red, we're not leaving until we find out what this is all about.
And if I tell you, will you promise to leave us alone?
Sure, we'll promise anything.
Oh, you see, I need Johnny's help.
Yes, well?
Because with him to follow up what I found today, well, Johnny, you and I are going to prove that my old friend Mr. Hobbs was murdered.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Every American fighting man has heard the expression, above and beyond the call of duty. How many of us have sat down and considered just what that word duty means? According to one dictionary definition, duty is man's conduct as required by his station or occupation, and that to which he is bound by moral obligation to do or not to do. When a man does more than his duty requires, he becomes more of a man in the eyes of his fellow men. One such was Captain John Philip Cromwell, commander of the submarine USS Sculpin, flagship of a submarine-coordinated attack group of the United States Navy. Possessing secret intelligence information of our fleet movements, strategy, tactics, and attack plans, Captain Cromwell led his attack group in patrol of enemy waters around Truck Island in November 1943, just prior to the launching of our first large-scale offensive in the Pacific. Despite savage enemy opposition, he established a line of submarines around the enemy-held stronghold of Truk until his ship, the Sculpin, became so rocked and battered by depth bombs that he ordered it to the surface. He engaged the enemy with deck guns, giving his crew an opportunity to abandon the mortally stricken ship. Determined to sacrifice himself, rather than risk capture and the subsequent danger of revealing the secret plans to the enemy, Captain Cromwell remained aboard the Sculpin as she plunged to her death. He thereby preserved the security of the mission at the cost of his own life. Captain Cromwell earned the Medal of Honor for deep integrity and uncompromising devotion to the call of duty in the service of his country. But what he did defined the word duty better than any dictionary.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Mojave Red Matter.
I'll tell you this, Johnny. Red here's one of the wildest, most irresponsible old characters I know when he wants to be. But he's okay nonetheless. And if he thinks you and he can find proof that Mr. Hobbs was murdered, well, he must have a good reason for it.
Well, Red? Oh, now, Ham, do you think a man like Elmer Hobbs, knowing the lake the way he did, would ever let the big wind catch him off guard up here in the basin?
No, I don't, Red. I know that's the way Buster felt about it, too.
Well, I said that to you myself, Red.
But now, what's this proof you have of murder?
Well, Ham and Buster, aren't you going on back now that I've told you why I wanted you to bring Johnny here?
Was there any harm in our knowing what you found, Red? After all, we might be able to help you and Johnny.
Yeah, I thought about that, but you see, I might just possibly be wrong about... Well, I might just be wrong, and I wouldn't want to be ashamed in front of a lot of people.
By a lot, you mean 3.
Well, that's 3 times as many as just Johnny here.
Oh, well, now look,
No,
Red.
Johnny, he means it, so Ham and I'll go on back to the dock.
But I still don't see what difference it
Johnny, when you get to know Red as well as we do, you'll stop trying to figure out the whys and wherefores of some of the things he does and what makes him tick. But you'll also learn that in the long run, no matter how unorthodox some of those things are, well, oh, come on, Buster.
Right. See you when you get back to the dock, Johnny. Oh, you got some food, Red?
Now, you know I always keep something in my boat, Buster.
Okay.
Well, far be it from me, Red, but all I have to say is that whatever you think you found proof of, it sure better be something.
Oh, it is, Johnny. At least I think it is. Now, you just scrunch yourself a place to sleep in the sand. It's pretty late.
Huh?
Well, it took you so long to get here, and we can't see anything in the dark anyway.
Oh, now look, Red, for heaven's sake.
Good night, Johnny. Sleep well.
And that was the end of our conversation. And I began to wonder if Jake Kessler hadn't been right in the first place. If I hadn't come out here on a wild goose chase after all. But the more I wondered and thought about it, with nothing but the warm desert night about us, and the twinkling stars, the magic sound of fish jumping in the lake, the sleepier I got. So, I slept. The smell of bacon frying over the campfire awakened me, although the sun still hadn't shone over the mountains that border the eastern side of the lake.
Douse your face in the lake, Johnny. Then grab yourself some of this bacon and eggs.
I did as I was told. Then, squatting in the sand in front of the fire, stuffed away a hearty breakfast of bacon, eggs, and pancakes made from sourdough. And you know, there's something about a meal cooked over a campfire that, well, we had other things to do. So we climbed into Red's old aluminum boat and slowly drove up the lake, staying close to shore. Finally, we reached a small rocky cove.
Right here is the spot, Johnny. This little cove.
The spot for what, Red? You know, you still haven't told me.
You see there? You see where somebody has climbed up the rocks?
No, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, he couldn't have climbed up off of the water, so he must have climbed out of a boat.
So?
And there's footprints leading away across the desert. And, Johnny, they aren't Elmer Hobbs' footprints, no, sir.
So somebody climbed out of a boat here for one reason or another and took a walk into the desert.
The man who killed Elmer Hobbs.
What makes you think so?
Look down over the side, in the water.
Yeah, a boat sunk down there.
That's the boat that Elmer had. Can you see it clear?
Yes, very.
Then you can see it wasn't damaged enough to sink it. Not that boat.
You're right, Red. Particularly since it has flotation tanks.
But it's down there. It's sunk. So you better strip to your shorts, Johnny.
Yeah. I'll go down and take a look.
Me? I already have. But I want you to look, Johnny. And remember, I knew everything that Elmer had in his boat when he left the dock. Remember that.
Okay. And you're sure the footprints leading into the desert couldn't possibly have been made by Mr. Hobbs?
That I'll swear to, Johnny, by all that's good and holy.
Now then.
Now, slip in easy so you won't disturb the water too much.
I took a deep breath, surface dived, and swam down to the sunken boat. And the water was clear, and I could see plainly. And I saw that Red was right. I bobbed back to the surface.
Did you see him? The cut?
Yeah, Red. Those flotation tanks were slashed open with an axe or a sharp, heavy tool of some kind.
But Elmer had no axe on that boat. So it was somebody else, Johnny. Somebody who murdered him. Yeah. And then sank the boat.
Red, I'm afraid you're right. Elmer Hobbs was murdered. So there you have it, Jake. And if I were you, I'd call off payment on that claim immediately. Granted, the case isn't over yet. I still have the job of finding out who killed Elmer Hobbs. But you know something? You're going to have to wait for my next report. Meantime, expense account total to the moment, $159.20, including the cost of shooting and retrieving one crow. Jake, how would you like it cooked? Until the next report, then, yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Oklahoma's state flag depicts an Osage warrior's circular buckskin shield from which hang 7 eagle feathers. Across the shield is the Indian's calumet, or pipe of peace, crossed with the white man's peace symbol, the olive branch. On the shield are small crosses, the Indian's graphic sign for stars, indicating lofty ideals or a purpose for high endeavor. The background of the flag is a field of blue, the blue of the Oklahoma sky, signifying loyalty and devotion. The important symbols, however, are the calumet and the olive branch. These override the shield, the symbol of war, and bespeak a predominant love of peace by a united people. Oklahoma's state flag, the flag of the 46th state to enter the Union, was adopted on April 2nd, 1925.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week? Well, after all, the case isn't really closed. But it will be next week, believe me. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote today's story. Heard in our cast were Lucille Meredith, Horace Lewis, Harley Bear, Alan Reed, and Barney Phillips. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for the conclusion of this exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
It's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Hi.
Well, hiya, George. I've been wondering when you were going to come up with another wild one for me.
That is not the case this time, John.
John?
Tell me, how is your, have you had a security clearance lately?
Well, sure, in connection with that rocket fuel case I handled.
Good.
But, now what's this all about?
Well, I can hardly discuss it with you over the phone.
Oh, top secret, huh?
Top secret, and of tremendous importance.
Okay, George. I'll run over and see you.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Are you smoking more now, but enjoying it less? Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. Are you missing the smoke? The nation like that. Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. Are you looking for flavor and mildness? Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. The best tobacco makes the very best smoke. Have a real cigarette, a real cigarette, a real cigarette, have a Camel.
If you're smoking more today, but enjoying it less, try Camels. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Any filter, any king, any regular. The Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equal for rich flavor and easygoing mildness. The best tobacco makes the best smoke.
Have a real cigarette, a real cigarette, a real cigarette, have a Camel.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Floyd's of England, North American Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the missing missile matter. When George Reed starts calling me John, well, it must be pretty important. So expense account item 1, $1.25 for a taxi over to the square on the office of Floyd's of England.
We'll use this rather isolated office in the back so as not to be disturbed.
Yeah, okay.
Or overheard. Now, if I seem to be somewhat vague about this whole thing, I assure you it's only because of my own rather limited knowledge of... Well, sit down, Joe.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, you can hardly expect me to investigate something unless I know what it's all about.
Well, John, out on the West Coast...
Oh, come off this John stuff, will you?
I'm sorry, Johnny. But now listen.
Yeah, shoot.
Out near Los Angeles, in North Hollywood to be exact, is a small plant that operates as the Smithwick Paint Remover Company.
Oh, what's so all-fired mysterious about that?
Not one drop of anything even faintly resembling paint remover has ever been put out by them.
Huh?
Actually, that name is only a blind, a cover-up.
Yeah? For what?
An outfit that might better be called the Smithwick Missile Development Company.
Government stuff, huh?
Johnny, they have no official connection with our government whatsoever.
But unofficially?
That's the sort of question we never ask. So far as anyone knows, our government simply doesn't recognize them, gives them no support, financial or otherwise.
So far as anyone knows.
Which means they receive no protection from Uncle Sam either.
So Floyd's of England writes the insurance?
Precisely. Under orders from our top brass.
Well, what's happened out there? What's the trouble?
Johnny, it appears from what Smithwick told me on the phone that one of their missiles is missing.
Oh, well then. What?
Yes.
Oh, now look, George, I heard of a guy who mislaid a bass drum once and somebody who had an elephant stolen.
Johnny.
One of those missiles? Oh, wait. Hey, maybe he was talking about one that got lost in outer space. But then why send for me?
They have nothing whatsoever to do with the firing of those things.
But don't you... A small plant out there, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, then it simply doesn't make sense. Now, George,
Johnny, all I know is what Dr. Smithwick told me over the phone. I agreed to have you go out there immediately. He'll be waiting for you there whenever you get there. Well?
Okay, George, whatever you say.
Hola, amigo. You want to know about stereo phonographs? Listen to my last bullfight on ordinary stereo.
Ole.
But now, Columbia Stereo 1. There is a corrida de toros. Real lifelike, magnifica. There is such a big difference in stereo phonographs. With most, all you get is a couple of speakers shooting in different directions. But with Columbia, hombre, you get fantastic stereo projection. What it does is to send circles of sound sweeping through every inch of a room. You are surrounded with live sound, live feeling, live passion. Ole! Ole! How they cheered me. Ask your Columbia phonograph dealer to demonstrate Stereo 1 by Columbia. Prices start as low as $39.95 for portables, $129.95 for consoles. El picador! Who let that bull out?
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Missing Missile Matter.
Expense account item 2, $8 for a plane to New York. Item 3, $176 and a quarter for a 707 to Los Angeles. I arrived about 6 p.m. Pacific time. Item 4, $50 deposit on a rental car, and I drove to North Hollywood, to the so-called Smithwick Paint Remover Company. As I walked into the reception room at the front, a good-looking blonde hurriedly closed the door in back of her that led to a huge room full of desks and drawing boards, but no people.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my name is Dollar, Johnny Dollar, and I'm here.
Johnny Dollar, the insurance investigator. Gee. My name's Gloria, Johnny. Gloria Snowden.
Snowden?
Will you just call me Gloria, huh?
Why not? But look, I've come to see Dr. Smithwick.
Oh, that's too bad, Johnny. He isn't here.
Is what?
Well, he left very suddenly late this morning for Washington or someplace, I guess.
Oh, now that's funny. After asking
He
for me
asked
to
me
be
to be sure and stay here until you came, and... Gee, I didn't think it was really going to be you, Johnny. He just said Mr. Dollar would be arriving. But anyhow, when he makes these sudden trips, he's always back here first thing in the morning, and I'm sure he wants to see you.
So my. Funny, though.
What? What, Johnny?
Well, I suppose I'd better get something to eat and find myself a place to sleep.
Oh, gee, I'm hungry, too. And it's all your fault, Johnny, because I had to wait around for you.
Well, then the least I can do is take you out to dinner, okay?
Oh, gee, yeah. And I'm free all evening, too, Johnny.
Great. We'll do the town. Now, is there a hotel or a motel around here where I can hang my hat?
Oh, gee, I don't... Well, there's the Paradise Motel over on North Sherman Way. It's kind of a smallish place.
On North Sherman Way.
1131.
Then just let me drop off my luggage, shower and shave, and I'll pick you up. Where do you live, Gloria?
Oh, I'll just wait here for you. I have a couple of things I ought to do before I leave.
Okay, whatever you say.
And you don't mind taking me to dinner, I mean?
Are you kidding? Funny, all this big emergency, all this hurry. The man who'd sent for me was off somewhere else. I should have asked for directions because it was over half an hour before I finally found the Paradise Motel. It was hardly the place I would have picked, but oh well.
Yeah, here you are, Mr. Dollar. Number 7.
Okay.
This be satisfactory?
Yeah, sure.
Because if it ain't, I got other vacancies.
No, this'll be all right.
Anything you want, I'll be in the office.
Well, I could sure use a few ice cubes.
Oh, brought your own jug, huh? Have them for you in the jiffy.
Good. Now, let's see. Shirts will go in here, I guess. Huh? That's about the fastest service I ever heard of. Mister, you certainly don't waste any... Hello? Somebody out here looking for...
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Welcome, recording star Mel Torme.
It's terrible trying to sing with a bad cold. So I always take 4-way cold tablets to relieve cold miseries fast.
Good idea. Tests of all the leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting. 4-way starts in minutes to relieve muscular pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
When you catch cold, try my way. Take 4-way cold tablets. A fast way to relieve cold distress and feel better quickly.
4-way, only 29 cents.
Now, here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. To get rid of embarrassing dandruff in 3 minutes, change to Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes of Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair, rub in 1 minute. Add water, lather 1 minute. Then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch and embarrassing dandruff's gone. At the same time, Fitch can brighten hair up to 35%. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today. And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Mr. Dollar, what was that noise you been hurt? Then that was shots I heard. Mr. Dollar?
Whoever fired him was a pretty lousy shot, thank heaven.
Oh, then you're okay? You mean he missed you?
Oh, how do you know that wasn't just a backfire you heard?
Backfire?
Yeah, from some passing car.
Well, don't you tell me that is any backfire.
Wait a minute. He, did you say?
Well, yeah.
Well, did you see him? Get a look at him.
Oh, no. I was in back at the ice machine.
So he could have gone into the office to look up my room number.
I heard the noise and that car pulling away, and I just come running.
Yeah, that car must have been waiting around the other side of this motel. Now, look, mister, what'd you say your name is?
Barnwell. Jed Barnwell. And, Mr. Dollar, I'm going to call the police.
No, don't.
Huh? Well, now, I realize you're a special investigator, some kind of...
That's right. And I don't want you to call the police in on this, not yet.
But now, look...
That's an order.
You got the authority?
Not only that, but, look, I want to rent another room from you.
Oh, you mean you'll pay for both of them?
That's right. You have another vacancy?
Well, if you want the truth, you're the only guest I got tonight.
I can understand that.
So you take whichever unit you want, and I'll sign you into it.
No, just let my name appear on the register for this one. Then you toddle off to bed and forget about me.
Well,
and here. Here's a 5-spot for getting me the key to the one next door, number 8.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, Mr. Dollar. And you still want them ice cubes?
Brother, I sure do. I left one handbag and its contents in number 7. Then I sat quietly in the darkness of my own room and waited. But I suddenly remembered my dinner date with Gloria Snowden, so I jumped into my car and drove back to the missile development plant. The place was dark. I drove to a corner drugstore to a phone booth and looked for Gloria's name in the directory. It wasn't. So, back to the motel. In number 7, the room registered to my name. The door was still locked. I went back to number 8 and sat there trying to think this thing out. Huh?
douse the light, pull my gun out of the holster, and sneak quietly to one side of the doorframe.
Mr. Dollar? Mr. Dollar, I saw your lights go out. I hate to disturb you at this time of night.
Yeah? Who is it?
My name's Bob McKinney.
McKinney?
That's right.
Sounds familiar.
Well, I used to work for CBS Radio, and, I used to handle that program dramatizing your insurance case.
Oh.
I want to talk to you. It's important.
All right, come in, Bob. Hey, what's in that box?
It's a tape recorder, kind of a special one. When old Jed Barnwell, he's a kind of a gabby old guy.
Yeah, he sure is.
Well, when he told me you were staying here, well, Johnny, I figured I'd better get to you and tell you about...
About what, Bob?
About some code signals I have here on tape. I picked them up about an hour ago.
Morse code signals?
Yeah, international code. It's like this, Johnny. I have my own amateur license, W6VFG, and I fool around with a lot of high-frequency experiments.
So?
Well, I got a couple of wires crossed on my receiver. It took me to a frequency that isn't even supposed to be on the air anywhere.
Yeah?
I started hearing what I thought was a high whistle. It was so high it was barely audible, like an oscillator note, a continuous squeal. Only it broke off now and then.
Well, now, Bob, in spite of pounding a key myself a long time ago, I'm afraid this is a little outside
Wait, Johnny. I've also been experimenting with this tape recorder, running the tape and recording at about 5 feet a second instead of 7.5 inches a second.
Yeah, well,
excuse me, but listen, please.
Okay, I'm listening.
I recorded that squeak, running the tape real fast, and then I played it back slowly. You know what it was, Johnny?
I'll bite.
It was ultra-high-speed transmission, code transmission.
Oh?
And when I played it back as slowly as I could, so I could read it, will you listen to it? I've got a variable speed on this. Can you read international code?
Go ahead, Bob. Turn it on.
Yeah.
Oh, can't you slow it down a bit?
Maybe if I hold it back on the reel.
Wait a minute. Listen to that.
That's what I mean, Johnny. It's legitimate code, all right, only... Well, have you any idea what language that is?
I certainly have.
Well, what?
Whatever that message is, well, it wasn't intended for anybody this side of the Iron Curtain.
And did you understand just, maybe a couple of words?
Yeah. Now, look, have you any way of telling where that signal comes from?
Well, it was mighty powerful, like it was real nearby.
Ultra-high-speed transmission.
And on a frequency that nobody in the world's supposed to be using.
Bob, if there was some way to spot that transmitter, if we could only...
Kenny McManus.
What?
If I can rig that direction finder at Kenny's to my receiver when it's rigged to catch a signal...
Then do it. Get hold of McManus and his direction finder and trace down the source of that signal. Meantime, leave this tape recorder with me. I'm going to round me up an interpreter.
Then you caught those two familiar words in that message.
My name.
That's right, they were. Johnny Dollar.
Act 4 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment. And now here's a message from the watchmakers of Switzerland.
Swiss vacation, Swiss vacation. Win a fabulous vacation for two in beautiful Switzerland. Enter the Swiss Vacation Contest. It's easy. Nothing to buy. Pick up a free entry blank at a jewelry store or other store that sells quality watches. Then in 25 words or less, complete this statement. A quality watch is the best value because there are 1,000 prizes. First prize, a 21-day vacation for two in Switzerland. You fly deluxe Swiss Air both ways. Visit many colorful places. All expenses paid for two people, plus $500 extra spending money. Second, third, and fourth prizes. 15-day Swiss vacations for two.
Also, 4 mink stoles, 8 Bolex movie cameras and projectors, 12 Hermes typewriters, 160 $100 watches, 812 Gala assortments of Tobler Swiss chocolates. Enter the Swiss Vacation Contest today. Free entry blanks at your jewelry store.
And now, Act 4 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Two familiar words and that high-speed code message that Bob McKinney had intercepted. So high-speed it sounded like a continuous squeal until we played back the recording slowly and recognized it for what it really was. A secret message in that foreign language. Those 2 words were my own name, Johnny Dollar. My one good police contact there on the West Coast was Lieutenant Harry Golden of the Homicide Squad. Sure, it was out of his line. It was the middle of the night. But he rounded up Alan Orloff, an interpreter, sent him over to see me. It was nearly 8 a.m. by the time I transcribed the code message. And then when Orloff finished translating it.
Mr. Dollar, do you see what this means?
I certainly do, Orloff.
But not only the threat against you, sir, because you are working on this very case.
I know.
But the sender of this message has somehow got hold of secret plans for a missile, a space rocket.
Orloff
has copied those plans, is holding them for an agent of this other government to pick them up later on today.
Which means that somehow I've got to locate the sender of that message.
But how? And it must be done immediately before the contact with this other agent.
I know.
Then don't you see, Mr. Dollar?
Wait. Yeah? Who is it?
Bob McKinney.
Oh, Bob. What'd you find out?
Johnny, that secret transmitter's right here in North Hollywood. It's been working ever since I talked with you, up until just about an hour ago. Here's the address and the name of the person who owns the house.
Good.
Only the antenna must be set up in the attic or something.
What do you mean?
There's no outside antenna to show there's a transmitter working there. And, of course, using that frequency that nobody would ordinarily be able to pick up. If it hadn't been for my dumb luck in receiving an ultra-high-speed transmission.
Did you record any further messages?
I got them right here on tape, on this recorder.
Good. Then while you transcribe them so Mr. Orloff can translate them, I'm going to the address you have on this... Huh?
Kind of figured the name of that sender might surprise you.
Surprise, huh? That is the understatement of the week. I'm going over to that missile development outfit. And I hope and pray Dr. Smithwick is there now.
So perhaps I was wrong, Mr. Dollar. After all, I'm a scientist, not a file clerk. But I was certain the plans for that missile were missing from the vault just before I was hurriedly called to Washington.
Dr. Smithwick.
Contrary to our usual policy, I asked the government to send some men here to investigate. They'll probably arrive here shortly.
Doctor.
Yet now on my return, I find the plans intact in their proper place.
Oh, those plans were stolen, all right. And for the benefit of one of the big foreign powers.
What? But that could only mean that someone here in this organization...
Right. You mind if I call in your receptionist?
Gloria Snowden.
I want her in on what I have to say.
You mean to say you tell that stupid little girl about this?
You think I need to?
Well, Dollar, it's because of her lack of intelligence that it's safe to have her about.
Any bets? Gloria.
Yes, Johnny?
Come in here, please.
Oh, gee, sure. Hi, Doctor.
Now, Mr. Dollar.
Doctor, Gloria was the only one beside yourself who knew I was out here, who could have arranged or carried out the attack on me last night.
Attack?
More important, she's the last one you'd suspect of being able to gain access to your vault, of taking the plans, having them copied, and preparing to turn them over to a... Well, it sounds corny, but to a foreign agent.
Are you serious? Whatever you mean by that.
However, having intercepted a radio message sent out from a transmitter hidden away in her home. Well, this, Doctor, is a slowed-down, intelligible tape recording of that message.
Well, I don't know what...
Well, Gloria, or whatever your real name is.
Very well, Dollar. And of course, neither of you gentlemen can be allowed to leave this office.
Gloria, that gun.
That's right. Any famous last words, Dollar?
You know, Gloria, this tape recording is the only real evidence I have against you.
What? So what?
So here. Maybe you'd like to have it.
Oh, no, you...
Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, Doctor. And maybe those G-men you sent for will keep the date she made with her contact. The one supposed to pick up those plans from her. The government boys were more than glad to take over. And I hope they can find some way to reward Bob McKinney, who really solved this case. Expense account total, including the trip back to... wait a minute. Forget it. In so good a cause, it was the least I could do. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
Constipation is something people don't talk about much, but it can be a problem for anyone, even doctors. And when constipation occurs, it's interesting to see just what doctors consider important about a laxative they might use or recommend. Well, a majority of the doctors we heard from had this to say: a laxative should be effective, gentle, as close to natural acting as possible, and a medicine that can be used with complete confidence. Now, X-Lax has been popular with many doctors and millions of people over the years because pleasant-tasting chocolated X-Lax is effective. Overnight, it helps you toward your normal regularity. X-Lax is gentle. Next morning, it gives you the closest thing to natural action. And that's why many doctors and millions of people use X-Lax with complete confidence. X-Lax, the laxative that helps you toward your normal regularity gently, overnight. Is X-Lax in your medicine cabinet?
Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, the most beautiful and dangerous girl I've ever known. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, G. Stanley Jones, Horace Lewis, Harry Bartell, Don Diamond, and Bartlett Robinson. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Dan Coverly speaking.
This is the CBS Radio Network, and this is Radio 59 WROW.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Are you smoking more now, but enjoying it less? Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. The best tobacco makes the very best smoke. Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. Are you looking for flavor and mildness? Have a real cigarette, have a Camel. The best tobacco makes the very best smoke. Have a real cigarette, a real cigarette, a real cigarette, have a Camel.
Again, for the 11th straight year, Camel outsold every other cigarette, filter, king size, and regular. The best tobacco makes the best smoke. So if you're smoking more now but enjoying it less, change to Camels. Get more real satisfaction every time. Start to really enjoy smoking again.
Have a real cigarette, a real cigarette, a real cigarette. Have a Camel.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Tri-Western Life Insurance Company, Corpus Christi office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Unholy Two matter. It was a little late in the day to ride all the way to Texas, but I managed to make a pretty good set of plane connections. So, expense account item 1, $127.20 plane fare and tips, Hartford to Corpus Christi. Item 2, $4 even for a cab in from Cliff Mouse Airport to the Driscoll Hotel on North Broadway. As I was about to sign my name on a registration card for the benefit of the room clerk, well, I guess this is a pretty small world at that.
And I'm sure you're going to find this room very comfortable, Mr. Dollar.
Sure.
Okay, then, Obie. I'll see you first thing in the morning.
We are.
Thank you, sir.
Right now, I'll turn over and tell Wayne the stock system.
Boy,
Yeah.
take Mr. Dollar's bags up to room.
Dollar? Excuse me. Did I hear the name Dollar?
What's that?
Johnny Dollar, the insurance investigator?
That's right. Who are you?
Well, the name is Doug Johnstone.
Johnstone?
Yes.
Funny. Man by the name of Johnstone dramatizes all these cases I handle so we can put them on the air.
Jack Johnstone.
That's right.
Well, I'm his younger brother, Douglas.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Well, glad to know you,
All
Doug.
right, Johnny. Listen, I'm in a big hurry. I've got somebody waiting for me, but I hope we can get together while you're here in town and, well, tear that brother of mine to pieces or something.
Sure, why not?
If you're down here working on a case, if I can be any help to you, you know. Hey, wait a minute. Are you here to look into the Peterson matter by any chance?
Well, frankly, I haven't the least idea.
I wonder. Well, can you tell me this? Did Jack Price over at Tri-Western Life send for you?
Yeah?
Clerk, may I have a piece of paper, please?
Oh, yes, sir. Here you are.
Sorry, I've got to rush out of here, Johnny, this way, but...
Well, who is Peterson, Doc?
Here's my address and phone number. That's both the home and the office.
All right.
Now, maybe I can be of help to you, so don't lose that.
Yeah, okay, thanks. But now,
because
Doug,
if it is on account of old man Peterson, Johnny, well, I got some ideas about it, and then, well, they could be helpful to you. If, as I say, that's why you're here.
Well, what kind of ideas?
Well, you know he was supposed to have died because his heart gave out on him.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. But if you ask me, well, if it turns out this is the case you're working on, well, you give me a call now, will you?
Yeah, sure. But look, why not tell me what you know about it?
Well, Johnny, after all, you may be here for something entirely different.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, why don't you see first what Jack Price has to say, huh?
Well, now, look, Doc, you said...
Johnny, this theory of mine could be all wrong.
About the death of some man named Peterson.
Yeah, John Ridgway Peterson.
Well, come on, tell me anyhow. What is your theory?
Well, it may not mean anything to you. You may have no interest whatsoever in Peterson.
Oh, come on, stop beating around the bush, Doug. What do you think about his death?
Well, okay. Murder.
What?
Yeah, Johnny. Murder.
But because neither of us really knew if I'd become involved in it, that was all he'd tell me at the moment. And as he said, he had to run off to meet somebody. It was late, and I was tired after the plane trip, so I grabbed a bite to eat. That's item 3, 2 1/4, then hit the sack. But first thing in the morning, I was in Jack Price's office at Tri-Western.
Well, no, I didn't mean to sound in a rush for you to get down here, Johnny. On the other hand, the hotter the trail, the easier it is to follow.
Whose trail, Jackson?
Sterling Peterson, beneficiary of his uncle, John R. Peterson's life insurance policy.
100,000 clams.
Yes.
And what's happened to him? The nephew Sterling, I mean.
He simply disappeared.
When?
About the same time his uncle died, apparently.
When was that?
5 days ago.
Funny that he should leave town when he was about to be presented with that wad of insurance money.
He didn't know that he was his uncle's beneficiary.
Oh?
No. Old John Peterson never told him. Actually, the old man didn't particularly want to leave it to this nephew, but, well,
Why not?
Oh, they never really got along, as I understand it. The old man had been a hard worker all his life, and Sterling is anything but. Nonetheless, he named him his beneficiary, so that's that.
And as heir to whatever else there is to the estate, huh?
No, that goes to Sterling's half-brother, Paul.
Much of an estate?
Certainly not as much as the insurance. The old man didn't have much use for either of them, Johnny. But since they were his only surviving relatives, since they'd probably get everything he left anyway...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Does Paul live here in town?
Yes.
What does he do for a living?
Apparently has some money in the stock market.
And Sterling?
Johnny, I don't know what he lived on. No visible means of support kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I tried to call him, tell him of his uncle's death. His landlady said he wasn't there, hadn't been there for a couple of days, that he'd simply packed up his things and left. I'll give you the address.
Yeah, do that.
Then I called his brother, but Paul didn't know where he was either.
Just disappeared.
That's right.
I wonder why.
Who knows?
Have he called the police?
Why? Just because a man suddenly leaves town? That's hardly reason to call in the police, Johnny.
Maybe not.
What?
Sterling didn't know he was beneficiary of this policy.
No.
But maybe he did think he'd get some of the estate if he were lucky and the old man turned up dead. And maybe Sterling needed money.
I understand he always did.
So if he could help the old man on his way...
No, Johnny. The doctor said it was a heart attack.
Yeah? Well, there are a lot of ways to make it look like a heart attack. Has there been an autopsy?
Why, no.
Then have one made. The insurance company's entitled to one.
But you're saying Sterling murdered him?
Maybe.
Johnny.
Just go ahead and order that autopsy. Item 5, $1.25 for a taxi. I found Doug Johnstone in his office, a small place, but with the cluttered desk of a busy man. Full of stock market reports, that sort of thing. Doug brushed him aside and got right to the point.
Yeah, I've got to know a lot about Sterling Peterson lately. Now, you see, I have interest in a handful of oil wells, a gas compressor station, and things like that.
Ah, lucky man.
Well, I spend quite a bit of time over at Merrill Lynch, trading in the stock market.
You met Sterling in a brokerage office?
Well, that's where I met his brother, Paul. That's where I learned about Sterling. It seems he was always trying to get money out of Paul.
I take it Paul is pretty well heeled, huh?
Hardly. He's a sharp one. He has a pretty wild idea of how to make money in the market.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know how it's always flattering for someone to ask your advice.
Naturally.
Well, I'd recommend he buy something like IBM. Good, solid stuff for a stable company like U.S. Steel, AT&T.
Nothing wrong with that, brother.
No, but instead he'd throw his money into some crazy penny stock like, well, Golden Dream Uranium Company. It was being pushed by some crooked promoter, some boiler room operator.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I'd suggest Union Carbide. He'd end up with some speculation nobody ever heard of, and so on. Yet somehow he managed to stay solvent. The point is, Sterling was always going to Paul for money.
Money for what?
Oh, to pay off his gambling debts. Much as I hate to admit it, civic pride and all that sort of thing, there are plenty of places in and around this town to gamble.
Yeah, so I've heard.
So when a stupid guy like Sterling Peterson simply won't learn the house never loses, well, you see what I mean.
Yeah. And Sterling never really worked for a living.
No, and he was always in debt up to his ears.
Isn't it possible he simply left town because his debts had caught up with him? Some of his creditors were getting tough with him?
Well, Sterling needed money badly, and... Well, Johnny, I think he finally reached the point where he's willing to kill to get it.
His own uncle?
If what Paul has told me about him is true, yes. Now, you remember, he thought that he would inherit part of the estate.
Which, of course, was wrong.
But he didn't know that. Not then.
Then his running away...
Well, the way I look at it, Johnny, if he did kill his uncle...
And you think he did?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Well, when he found out he wouldn't get his uncle's money, his property, after all, that he'd killed him for, nothing, he didn't know about the insurance, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what was left for him around here?
I'll buy.
Nothing but a lot of creditors pounding on his door. And once people begin to think about that, they might get suspicious, start asking him questions about his uncle's death. Questions that he didn't have good answers for.
But to run out is the surest way in the world to arouse suspicion.
I know. It's stupid. Well, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure. But thanks. I'll see you later.
I took a taxi over to the place where Paul Peterson lived. That's item 6, $1.50. It was a nice apartment in a fairly good neighborhood, but he wasn't home. Item 7, $1 even for a cab to the brokerage house Doug had mentioned. I talked to Wayne Stockset, a friend of Doug's. He hadn't seen Paul Peterson around there for several days.
Well, Paul said something about going out of town, Dollar, to look at some of the companies he considers investing in.
I see.
When he gets the money from his uncle's property and so forth, Paul will have quite a bit to play with. And play with is the proper term, despite our advice to avoid so many cheap speculations.
I've heard he's a bit of a plunger.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Well, if he does come around, Wayne, ask him to call me immediately. I'll be at the Robert Driscoll. Item 8, $2 for a late lunch. Item 9, $1.30 for a cab to Jack Price's office.
Now, wait a minute, Johnny.
Yeah?
Instead of hunting for Sterling Peterson, you're just hanging around hoping to find out the old man was murdered.
Well, give me time, will you?
But I tell you, the doctor who was with him when he died said it was heart failure.
And I tell you, Jackson, there are plenty of ways. There are medical tricks. I can't
Hold it a minute, Johnny. Price speaking. Yes? All ready? Well, doctor, what did you... What? Oh. I see. Thank you.
What's the matter, Jackson?
How did you know?
How did I know what?
The autopsy.
Yeah?
You were right. Apparently some drug substituted for the digitalis the old man was taking.
You mean Doug Johnstone was right. The old man was murdered.
Yes, Johnny. Murdered.
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Welcome, recording star Mel Torme.
It's terrible trying to sing with a bad cold. So I always take 4-way cold tablets to relieve cold miseries fast.
Good idea. Tests of all the leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting. 4-way starts in minutes to relieve muscular pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
When you catch cold, try my way. Take 4-way cold tablets. The fast way to relieve cold distress and feel better quickly.
4-way, only 29 cents.
Now, here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. To get rid of embarrassing dandruff in 3 minutes, change to Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair, rub in 1 minute. Add water, lather 1 minute. Then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch and embarrassing dandruff's gone. At the same time, Fitch can brighten hair up to 35%. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today. And now, Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account item 10, $1.70 for a taxi to the cheap rooming house where Sterling Peterson had lived before his mysterious disappearance. The landlady turned out to be quite helpful.
Well, that chiseling, no-account, tin-horn gambler owed me 2 months back rent, Mr. Dollar.
Well, if we can find him. Only I'm beginning
And
to
you
doubt
ask me there's something mighty suspicious about the way he picked up and left.
Yeah? What do you mean,
Yeah.
Mrs. Toomey?
Well, now, here. Here, now, you look for yourself. You see all them empty hangers in that closet there and them empty drawers I pulled out on the bureau?
Oh, so what?
It took every stitch of clothes he had. How he ever stuffed them all in them 2 little suitcases he owned would have been impossible.
Oh, so he picked up a tour over, a couple of more handbags.
Without me seeing him come in here with him?
You apparently didn't see him leave.
Well, no. Look here, in the medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Now, every receipt.
Yeah, that is funny.
Well, it sure is. Man not taking along his comb and razor and shaving things and his toothbrush and his hair tonic. I don't care how much of a hurry he was in.
Mrs. Toomey, the day that Sterling Peterson disappeared.
You mean the night he disappeared, don't you?
Do I?
All that day, he just sit around here, said he was waiting for his brother. His brother had promised to come and see him.
Oh?
Ask me, he was hoping his brother'd bring him some money to pay up his rent and things.
Did his brother come around?
At 7 p.m., his brother telephoned. I took the message.
Yeah?
Said Sterling was to meet him at some dive out on Staple Street, so he left.
And that's the last you saw of him.
I heard him come back here and up to this room sometime after 2 a.m.
But you didn't actually see him.
I go to bed at a respectable hour.
Then how are you sure it
Next
was?
morning he was gone. Bag and baggage must have just plain sneaked out on me.
No, I don't think so, Mrs. Toomey.
What's that?
A couple of things I learned earlier, a couple of things you've told me, and the stuff in that medicine cabinet.
Eh?
Now, I don't think you'd better bank on collecting any back rents. Not from Sterling Peterson.
That death beat.
Is he?
Of course he is.
Or is he just plain dead? I went back to my hotel. No, Paul Peterson hadn't called me. But there was a message from Jack Price, so I went to my room and I phoned him.
I just wanted you to know the police are in on this now, Johnny.
As a result of that autopsy.
Yes, they're looking for Sterling Peterson, too. Also, they've been looking for you. They're very anxious to talk with you.
Anytime they like.
After all, it was you brought this thing out in the open by suggesting the autopsy. Because you had the idea that it might be murder.
No, that was Doug Johnstone's idea, and a very good one. Have they talked with Paul Peterson?
Well, I assume they will.
Well, if he's back in town, huh? Okay, Jackson, thanks. Now, let's see. Yeah? Come in.
Dollar?
That's right.
I'm Paul Peterson. I got your message.
Wow. Come in.
I understand that you're an insurance investigator, that you're looking for my half-brother Sterling.
Ah, that's right. Who didn't know that he was the beneficiary of your uncle's insurance. Sit down.
Well, thanks. I just got back in town from a business trip, and...
That's so?
Look, I found these letters waiting for me.
Oh, from Sterling?
Yes, here.
Dallas, Wichita, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota?
Yes, and by now he could be across the border in Canada.
Yeah, maybe.
Read it, Dollar.
Just keep quiet and give me time, and you won't have to worry about me anymore.
Yeah, the others are practically the same.
Yeah. Neatly typewritten, no signature.
I'm afraid it's obvious who they're from.
So it looks as though your half-brother is running away. Now that we know your uncle was murdered.
Murdered?
Yeah, that's right.
Sterling.
Type these on your own machine, Paul? That might be pretty easy to trace.
What?
Yeah, with Sterling out of the way, you'd get your uncle's insurance as well as his money and property, wouldn't you?
I suppose so, but I don't see what you're driving at.
Oh, you did things up pretty well, Paul. Much better than your stupid brother could have.
What are you talking
and
about?
And all to play safe in case we discovered it was murder.
Dollar.
That so-called business trip. It was so that you could mail these letters to yourself, make it look as though Sterling had done the murder.
Well, he must
have. And what happened? Did you make the mistake of telling him you'd done it?
I? Now, look here.
After all, he would never have thought of substituting for the digitalis your uncle was taking.
Look here,
So
Dollar.
did Sterling threaten to blackmail you? Is that why you had to kill him, too?
You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about.
And the tiny thing that tipped me off.
What?
When you went back to his room that night, after you'd killed him, to haul away his stuff, make it look as though he'd taken a powder.
Yes?
Silly little thing. But no man, no matter how much of a hurry, would have left behind his comb, his razor, a toothbrush. And that isn't all.
I say you don't know what you're talking about. Or maybe you do.
Oh, easy, Paul. That gun'll make an awful lot of noise in here.
No. Not when it's tied up against your back with a pillow over it. Stand up, Dollar.
And if I don't? Well...
Okay, Doug. What?
Kick open the door. I'll cover him.
I tried it.
The police.
That's right.
All right. Look, boys.
I said you covered, Peterson. Drop it. Drop it.
Johnny, you okay?
Yeah, sure, Doug. You hear it all, Sergeant?
Yeah, I sure did, Mr. Dollar. It's funny, though.
Funny?
All I really came up here for was to talk to you. Not much point in it now, is there?
So, another day, another dollar. And I'm not talking about myself. Expense account total, including hotel bill, a flock of incidentals, and a plane back to Hartford, $287.20. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
star will return in just a moment.
Constipation is something people don't talk about much, but it can be a problem for anyone, even doctors. And when constipation occurs, it's interesting to see just what doctors consider important about a laxative they might use or recommend. Well, a majority of the doctors we heard from had this to say.
A laxative should be effective, gentle, as close to natural acting as possible, and a medicine that can be used with complete confidence.
Now, X-Lax has been popular with many doctors and millions of people over the years because pleasant-tasting chocolated X-Lax is effective. Overnight, it helps you toward your normal regularity. X-Lax is gentle. Next morning, it gives you the closest thing to natural action. And that's why many doctors and millions of people use X-Lax with complete confidence. X-Lax, the laxative that helps you toward your normal regularity gently, overnight. Is X-Lax in your medicine cabinet?
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a hurried trip to Alaska to look for a clue to a murder. And say, if you've been to Alaska, if you know anything about the customs, the manners of the people up there, especially their eating habits, well, it's quite possible that you'll find a solution to the case even before I do. Or maybe you will anyhow. Because it all hangs on a tiny, seemingly unimportant clue. And yet, well, give a listen. See how well you can break down a killer's alibi. Yeah. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Jack Edwards, Forrest Lewis, Stacey Harris, Gil Stratton, and Barney Phillips. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Dan Cubberly speaking.
Tangled secrets unravel eerily all through the long night as suspense follows on the CBS Radio Network.